Hey everybody, I'm Todd Anderson.
I'm Ross Merriam.
You're watching the Versus Series by StarCityGames.com. So today we continue our gauntlet of Blue-Red Wizards versus all the good decks in Modern. Well, not all the good decks, but some of the best decks in Modern.
Most of the good decks.
Some of the 5 of the 27 playable archetypes. No, this Modern format is one that's ripe for innovation, I think, just because there's such a deep card pool that it's no wonder that every 2 months or so, we just kind of see a new deck crop up out of nowhere, or like an old favorite come back in a big way. Recently, Humans has been on a downswing, but the addition of Militia Bugler made it a lot better against things like Jund, Mardu, Jeskai Control, these grindy decks that would normally be, a little problematic for the archetype. And we saw Jeff Hooglin going 13-0 in the Swiss, conceding around 14 and drawing around 15 into top 8 in second place. All pretty great. This deck, though, do you think it's the real deal?
I think there is a deck that plays 4 Wizards of Lightning, 4 Snapcaster Mage, and 4 Lightning Bolt. And I like this more than I liked the Prowess aggro version of that kind of a deck that Ryan Overturf innovated several months ago. But just playing 8 Lightning Bolts and 4 Snapcaster Mages sounds really strong to me. You definitely want to put that into a somewhat aggressive shell so that you can use the bolts aggressively if necessary. I think Grimlaw Mancer was a really good card for last weekend, or 2 weekends ago now. So I like a lot of the things that this deck is doing. Whether it's powerful enough to be a consistent player in the format, I'm not sure. There are plenty of decks in Modern that are only good when the metagame is favorable for them, and then they fall away when the metagame rotates to hate them out, and this might rise to that level, which is a fine place to be. There are plenty of decks that exist like that in Modern, but I definitely think a Wizards of Lightning deck exists.
Sure. No, I mean, Lightning Bolt's obviously an insanely good card. It's been one of the staples of Modern for forever. We saw a downtick in the number of Lightning Bolts being played when Death Shadow started to get really big, but I haven't really seen a whole lot of Death Shadow other than Ben Freeman top 4ing a Grand Prix and Dylan Donegan playing it here and there. For the most part, Death Shadow is just non-existent. So
yeah, it's back on the fringe after being the default best deck for several months last year. And you're right, there weren't a lot of bolts last year. Last year was really the year of Fatal Push. We had to sort of learn just how good it was and what the decks it was good in and the kinds of decks that its presence in the format was going to suppress. And now I think the format has come back around, has reacted fully to Fatal Push, and we've moved back to Lightning Bolt because Lightning Bolt's just the best.
It's great.
So good.
Yeah, now that we have effectively 8 of them. This deck turns the corner really quickly. We talked about that yesterday quite a bit, and how Mutavault changes the dynamic of certain games. Just sitting in play means that at some point you can attack with it. So it puts this invisible damage on the battlefield that your opponent has to respect. And if they play in such a way where they don't respect it, a lot of times you just go like Bolt, Snap Bolt, untap, attack with Snapcaster, Mutavault, and then that's lethal out of nowhere.
Yeah, just 10 damage from nothing, from no board. They spend their turn dealing with all your creatures. They feel good, stabilized at 10. You just got this stupid, crappy Mutavault there. You're dead. Yeah, game's over.
But today, what are you playing?
I am playing Tron, the boogeyman of Modern. So we gave the Blur Wizards deck a little bit of an easy introduction yesterday. I think Storm is a really good matchup for it.
After playing it, I agree, but I didn't think so at the beginning. I think counterspells are generally not great against Storm, just because they have plenty of time usually to set up even through counterspells. But the blue-red deck was able to put enough pressure on it where, I was threatening lethal on like turn 5 with 2 counterspells like pretty regularly.
Yeah, and that's impressive and very good against Storm. So
and terrifying. Yeah.
Dispatch that matchup pretty easily. I think this matchup's going to be a little bit harder. Your counterspells are going to be a lot more important.
Yes.
You got some Alpine Moons on the sideboard to help out. That's really good. A couple other good cards. You got Abrade for Oblivion Stone. Some more counterspells, negates, and disdainful strokes. but I got like some Thragtusk, some Walking Ballistas. Those are gonna
It could be
problematic
tough.
cards.
I think Ballista's going to be very good. We'll just have to see how it shakes out. But let's go and get to the match and see who takes it down between Blue Red Wizards and Mono Green Tron in round 2 of our Blue Red Wizards Gauntlet. All right, we're here for the 7-11 game again. 7 you lose, 11 you win. If you roll 7, the other person rolls an 11. That person gets to go first all 5 games. Ooh, 11. Ooh. I'm on fire.
Yeah.
That's 7 in a row. The last 5 I did against Todd Stevens, I won all 5. I won the first 2 against you.
Man.
All right, we're here for game 1, and my hand is pretty good. Obviously, we don't have a bolt or something, so in the dark, this is a little scary. If we were playing against some deck that was heavily creature-based, this hand would be a little awkward. But on the play, it's a little bit better just because we have a little more time.
And I got some Tron pieces, some cantrips, some threats.
Nice.
This is pretty good mix of stuff.
I'm going to go ahead and shortcut this down to 19.
I am going to play a Chromatic Sphere off an Urza's Mine.
I have no response.
No mental missteps over there?
Look, I got Spell Pierce it. Stubborn Denial it. You don't know what I got.
I know exactly what you have.
Fine. But this, you're playing in the dark.
Am I? It's
Should
pretty light
be.
in here. Got lights everywhere.
Shut up.
Okay. Let's pop this sphere for a green. And play an Ancient Strings.
So I'm going to use a remand here just because there's a chance he doesn't have access to green mana, and this could effectively be a counterspell. Even though remand's better later, I want to hit some more stuff.
Okay, Tower Sphere.
Tilt. Just has it. Just natural.
Had it the whole time.
Go.
Ooh, that's pretty neat.
No, just turn. Just turn. Whoops. Whoops.
Okay, colorless green floating.
Yep.
World Breaker, trigger, target the Mutavault.
All right, I'm just gonna mana leak the World Breaker. Does it say just land or does it say non-creature permanent?
Target artifact, enchantment, or land.
I'll tilt. I thought I might could activate it to stop it, but
Does not exile planeswalkers. You can go. Oh, it does say, yeah, it actually says art. Yeah, but it's still a land, right? When you
yeah, it's still a land.
Yeah.
It says artifact creature land. Some of those say non-land permanent or
Yeah.
whatever, you know. So I was just making sure.
Non-creature permanent.
Yep. Go.
Does not target planeswalkers. Okay. Because I really want to get to this, I'm going to. I guess I can just start on this. Play a star with 1 floating.
Sure.
Pop it, make it green.
Sure.
Ancient Strings.
Yep.
So I have a green floating.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll take this Worm Coil.
No, you have colorless floater.
Or
Use this for the green.
I have none floating. Then, yeah, I have none floating because I played star. I made it green. I cast strings.
Okay.
So this costs 1. This costs 1. I tap for 2.
Okay.
That's still fine. I'm still taking Worm Coil. Because I have a forest here that gets me to 6 mana.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
Thought about cycling this to counter the card draw, but I think that's bad.
Yeah. Seems like a losing play, even if it would have been slightly better there.
Attack for 3.
17.
It's not a race I can win. I don't actually have many ways at all to get Wormcoil off the battlefield, so I think I'm just dead. There's no like cryptic commands or anything in this deck. 13 to 23.
Well, let's try another one, shall we? 1 floating.
Gonna snap leak. Get a mountain.
Play a star, play a relic. Tap the relic targeting you. Get one of these fetch lands.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
All right, so this is gone.
And now you're at 12.
Yes. 12 to 23.
Yep. $18.
Go.
So I think what Todd needs here is just an endless stream of block plus bolt my own creature to prevent me from gaining life. Even that's going to be tough.
During your draw step, I'm going to click you.
Oh no, but this was the turn I was going to cast Ulamog.
Womp womp.
Good thing I also have Walking Ballista.
Oh, yeah, you win. I don't have a counterspell, so that sucks.
Yeah.
GG me. All right, we're here for sideboarding, and I'm doing something pretty similar to what I did last round against Storm, where I'm boarding out a lot of my spot removal in favor of some more counterspells and more interaction. We're going a little more extreme here. Since Wizard's Lightning doesn't really target much of anything relevant other than the face, and it's just a more expensive lightning bolt, unless I have a wizard in play, we're going to be cutting some of those, as well as a spell snare. I know this can target Sylvan Scrying, which is important on occasion, but with only one in the deck and only somewhere around 4 to 6 targets, I don't think it's that good. So we're going to be trimming that in favor of Alpine Moon, which is a pretty good card in this matchup, just costing 1 mana, slowing Ross down long enough so that I can beat him down with some of my creatures. Cards like Alpine Moon, Blood Moon, etc. make your counterspells significantly better against Tron, because either you only want to focus your counterspells on stuff like Nature's Claim, or you can just, once they get to 6 mana or 7 mana, start hard casting these giant threats, your counterspells can counter the one thing that they play each turn. So really, Alpine Moon, even though it doesn't draw a card or completely lock them out of the game, it's really just there to buy you some time. Braid is this flex card, which I'm not sure about, but the fact that it can blow up an Oblivion Stone makes it a little bit more desirable. And since I'm on the play, it can blow up an Expedition map on turn 2, which I like. But other than that, Stroke, Negate, obviously pretty good in this matchup for obvious reasons.
Yep. On my side, I waffled a bit while we were sideboarding as to whether I wanted Nature's Claim and how many. I'm only bringing in 2 here. There's really no target in Todd's deck besides Alpine Moon, but I think I can afford to have a dead card in my hand if I'm hitting Tron. You're just so ahead on resources from your lands and your threats are so powerful that having a dead card in your hand is fine. So I'm going to try to, in a pinch, it can also just gain 4 life against Todd's Burn, especially if you target Chromatic Star. You still get the card off the star when it dies. So maybe I'll decide to bring in the 3rd for game 3. Bringing in a little removal. I'm expecting Todd to have enough disruption that me just racing to Tron and slamming threats isn't going to be as effective. And I also have Thragtusk as extra life gain and a threat that's easier to cast if Alpine Moon is in play or Todd has kept me off Tron for some other reason. I'm cutting the Dismember because I just don't want to pay 4 life for a spell. Relic, I also waffled a bit because of Snapcaster Mage, but I don't think that situation is going to happen a lot, and it's just the weakest cantrip because it costs you so much mana. And I'm sort of trimming one of a lot of threats. I definitely wanted to trim one at Ulamog because it costs so much mana in the post-sideboard games. I think I can win with cheaper cards. I am going to leave one in as a Sanctum target. Mm-hmm. I'm cutting an Oblivion Stone, which is a little strange against an aggressive deck, but I think it's significantly weaker here than against other creature decks for a couple reasons. One, Todd has Nimble Obstructionist, which is a huge blowout against the 2nd ability. Mm-hmm. 2, Todd has creature lands that it doesn't hit. And 3, all of Todd's threats have flash, so he's not committing as much to the board on his own turn. Granted, because Oblivion Stone can be sacrificed to instant speed, I can have the O-Stone up, and Todd can't develop his board, but he's able to develop his board after I use it on his turn, redevelop his board on my turn, whereas against most creature decks, you force them to not extend anything on their turn, you wrath on their end step, then you have a turn where the board is completely clear, you can cantrip through your deck or do something else, force them to be reactive. Todd can actually develop his board immediately. Mm-hmm. So I am trimming No Stone, and then Karn and Ugin, if their initial activation gets countered by Obstructionists, they're pretty vulnerable to burn spells. I initially thought maybe just cutting both Ugins, again, because the -X ability, which is its strongest effect, is somewhat weak against a deck filled with creature lands and flash threats. But I also think Karn isn't as good because this is not a matchup where you can aggressively -3.
Yeah, it's more of a plus card in this matchup, which is not its strong suit.
And the deck just has so much velocity that cutting all of a certain card I think is rarely correct when they're somewhat comparable. So I'm just going to leave in one Ugin, and if I find it, I find it, and I'm sure it'll be great. And I'm playing Tron, so I'm only going to draw it when it's awesome.
Yeah, one thing to know, I think bringing Nature's Claim in the dark as a mono green Tron deck is always just okay. It's never bad because most decks have Sideboard Damping Sphere now. And if they're a red deck, they either have some sort of Blood Moon effect or Alpine Moon effect. So almost every single deck has some sort of enchantment or artifact that messes with you.
Stony Silence.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's just smart to just always bring in at least 2 Nature's Claims in the dark in game 2. All right, here for game 2. I'm on the play with a bit of a land light hand, but we have some decent interaction in an opt, so I'm going to keep it.
My hand is pretty close to assembling full Tron, and we got some cantrips and some threats.
All right, 17. We're going to try to apply some pressure early. I think Delver is one of our better cards here.
Chromatic Sphere. Pass the turn.
Cut me something good.
Nope. Top card's already bad.
Fine. Tilt. All right, well, he didn't play a map. I'm just going to braid that stupid star and hit him for 1. It keeps him off of green, keeps him from cycling it, whatever.
I'm at 19.
I don't know if it's right. Feels right. When something feels right, just got to do it.
Okay, well, I was pretty worried, but I drew another sphere. I'll pop this for green.
I hate you so much.
Ooh, that was good. Stirrings.
How are you like this?
I will select... Huh.
Just never going to flip this Delver. Going to get turn 3 Troned again.
I don't know which one of these is better. I guess this is better against Negate. Okay, I'll take Walking Ballista.
Sure.
You can go.
Thanks. Just never going to flip my Delver. Never going to flip my Delver. Attack for 1. Go.
18.
And you know what card is way too powerful for Modern?
What?
Ponder. It's just too good. I hate you.
I'm going to play around a Mana Leak as well, because the Delver's still a 1/1, and cast Ballista for 2. You can still get Disdainful Stroke here.
Do I even care? I think I do, because he's going to... Yeah, I'm going to counter it. I need to keep pressure on him. I'm just going to lose some giant thing next turn. Doesn't matter.
The Ballista for 2 also let us follow up with a Stone.
Well, that doesn't work as well as I want it to, but it buys me some time. Doesn't flip Delver, unfortunately.
Nope.
All right, I'll name Urza Tower.
Sure.
I'll take 2, and I'll attack for 3. All right, so I'm at 15. You're at 15.
Yep.
Your turn. I don't know. Always name Urza Tower the Alpine Moon, because if they have Nature's Claim and no green mana, they have to tap the Urza Tower for the green, and that means they have less mana as follow-up. Cool.
You go to 21.
I got a 19. I shocked 2 last turn.
Sure. Got another tower here.
Yeah, great. Nice.
You can go.
I will opt.
Yep.
It doesn't even matter now because you have the stone, but I'm just so mad. 14.
Sure.
Go. Here comes your 1 Ulamog. You left your 1 Ulamog in.
How about my 1 Eugene?
Eugene. Resolves.
I will plus on Delver of Secrets.
Oh, that's not... I'm sorry. No, I have to remand it. For some reason, I thought I could cast Obstructionist and stifle it, but
Yeah,
that's
that is not that good.
No, I know. I just... My brain did a thing. My brain did a thing. Just... I don't understand.
13.
Go.
Ugin.
Okay.
Plus on Delver of Secrets.
All right, so I can cycle Obstructionist to counter it, or I can just let it happen and then cast Obstructionist. That means if I Obstructionist plus Bolt plus attack with Femoral can kill it, and you can't really pop Stone because it'll kill Ugin, but I lose a lot of resources that way. I think if I Obstructionist to counter it and try to flip Delver, I get to save a card. And it's a little risky, but I'm so far behind that I don't know if any of this actually matters. I can also maybe just try to kill him. Just let his Ugin take up one more time. It seems bad. All right, I'm going to cycle and counter.
Okay. I will play a map and crack it. And get a forest. And pass the turn.
All right, I'll bolt Ugin. Attack Ugin.
Contortion the Mutavault. Definitely want to use the removal spells on lands here, since Ugin can take care of things on the battlefield. Ugin goes to 5.
Yeah, I'm at 17. Go.
Let's plus this on the Delver. World Breaker, trigger target Femoral.
All right, I will snap counter it with. I don't know if I want to stroke it or remand it. I guess just stroke it.
Femoral down and pass the turn.
This is so stupid. Go.
End of turn, put a fate counter on the Ugin.
Sure. Actually, I'm gonna play this. Go.
Sure.
I'll name the tower.
I will strings. Find Walking Ballista plus Ugin on the Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, I quit. All right, we're here for game 3. I probably punted last game. I think the turn where I cycled Obstructionist to save the Delver was bad. If I just play the Obstructionist, I can threaten lethal on the Ugin, maybe. Did you have the Spatial Contortion the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would have gotten blown out no matter what I did. Not flipping Delver for 75 turns felt pretty bad. But it's the downside of playing Delver. Sometimes it just never flips.
Yep.
This hand is okay. I am not in love with it because we don't actually have any pressure, but hopefully Opt can find some.
Yeah, I've got cantrips, threats, and close to Tron, so I'm good.
All right, here we go.
Mine, and I'm going to lead with Star, because if Todd abrades that one,
Yeah, doesn't do
I get
anything.
to draw a card.
All right, we're going to put a land on bottom. Just looking for a creature here. All right, go.
I will sacrifice Star, make green. Good.
Yeah.
I will play Ancient Stirrings.
I'm going to do the thing I've been doing all the time and hope he just doesn't have another thing like he always does. But he always has a second Tron piece and another one every game.
You can go.
Hate you. All right, I'm at 17. I'm going to draw a card off my remand. Go. Draw step. I'm going to click you.
Well, that's pretty good. So I have 2 more Tron pieces, but
Are they the wrong ones?
I got 2 pairs.
So if I take Stirrings, he has 2 hits to hit the Tron land and cast like Thragtusk plus Spatial Contortion. That's like worst possible. If I take nothing, he cracks for green. He goes up to 7. I think I just have to take Stirrings and just hope he misses on Tron.
That's what I would do.
It's a little dangerous, but I mean, just gamble. All right.
Okay. Whoop.
Just put a face up. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Green?
Make green.
All right, so you have green floating and not.
Correct.
So you can't actually do Contortion plus Thragtusk now,
Yes.
which is nice.
I had to hit the Tron piece immediately to do both.
Right. You still play Thragtusk if he has the Tron piece, so. And if he doesn't, he can still just play Oblivion Stone, which is also not too bad.
I can play Oblivion Stone or
Contortion actually is just way better.
yeah, I think Contortion
Sorry.
to click, and I play this other star is better.
Yep.
Pass. And I'm probably going to leave that star in play until turn 5, just so I can Thragtusk get guaranteed, rather than try to get a little greedy.
And I main phase and op, just looking for some pressure. Mutavault ain't it. I mean, it's pressure, but it ain't what I need. Go.
Yeah, I'm just going to jam the Oblivion Stone right now.
That could be problematic later, but it's not problematic now. I don't care that much, so that's fine.
Fast turn.
All right, go. See, the being reactive against decks like Tron is one of the ways that Tron is just, yeah, go fine.
Green.
Yeah. One of the ways that Tron really preys on fair decks.
Tusk.
I'll try to remand it. Keep him off of
pretty good.
green mana, which is nice. I'm
You
trying
go.
to do the whole time. All right, play this. Attack.
17.
It's pretty funny. Go. This is why this card sucks.
Sphere.
Spell setter it.
Wish I had done this first.
Played your land so you could pop stone.
Pull this down too.
Mana leak it, I guess.
Yes, 2 counter spells. Tough to beat there. Pass. And we're still okay. We got this O Stone. Unless Todd is another obstructionist. Yep. 13. Kept on top is not good.
Go.
Tower.
Actually, I'm gonna play this. I know it's gonna give him green, but I don't actually care about that.
I mean,
gonna,
you could just name Tower, right?
Oh
then I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ours is tower. No,
Yeah.
that's super smart.
Yeah.
You're way better at Magic than me. I just haven't played Alpine Moon enough. That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
You don't have to name a land that's in play.
So, Drew Sanctum. I can Ghost Quarter one of my lands to get a forest here. Yes. And I think I'm going to start doing that next turn, but for now I'm going to O-Stone on Todd's turn to force him to do his thing then. I guess I'll just do it upkeep. You have no, like, sort you have Delvers, but I'm going to do it before you attack. So,
You don't want me to have another draw step
yeah,
at
I'm
it?
just going to pop it. I assume you have it if you played the moon.
I got really lucky and drew it off of the opt.
Sure.
Bang.
I'm a 9.
Go. No more obstructionist is New Bay. It good.
So I finally assembled Tron, but
Hee-haw.
I might just... You have 3 cards?
I have 3 cards.
But it is a very awkward Tron.
Is it like Ghost Quarter, Self, no, that can't be right.
So let's lead on the map, seeing as I can map plus Thragtusk this turn.
Sure.
If I wanted to. The thing is, if I crack map, then I can't play Thragtusk off the tower. I'm 1 short of that. And I'm not sure if I live if I don't gain life this turn, but I think whatever I cast is also getting countered.
What's up?
I'm going to go for the pop on map.
Okay.
I will get a tower, which now adds green mana, and I'm going to play an Oblivion Stone for my hand.
So you have 1 mana up. All right, that's fine.
Pass.
All right, attack you for 4, and then double bolt you with remand up.
Yeah, or I mean, remand double bolt I just couldn't ever beat.
Well, that's 2 gauntlets in a row where we tried out a new deck, and Tron seemed like an abysmal matchup. Obviously, your draws games 1 and 2, just turn 3 natural Tron without playing any sort of search thing. That's what Tron does. I know that I get frustrated in the games. I very much hate losing. Some of it is for show. A lot of it is because I hate losing. Just so you know, apologies. I want all the best for Ross in the world. I want him to win as many Magic tournaments as possible, but when he plays against me, I want him to miss every land drop and mulligan to 4. So just that's where we're at. Just so you know.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree. I feel often the same way, so can't blame Todd at all. I think I was probably slightly above average for where Tron normally is. Like, having 2 turn 3 natural Trons in a match is like pretty good. The third one,
natural Tron, no, you didn't play like. I countered your stirrings both times, and it's not like you pop stirrings to find the Tron piece. You literally
Tron.
No, I know.
Yeah,
2 natural Trons out of 3 is not normal.
Yeah, but then in the third game, I like never assembled Tron at all. So that one's below average. I've got like two above average, 1 below average, so we're a little above average.
Pretty sure I countered your map that was going to find 1. Pretty sure I like remanded
remanded
ancient
stirrings and then clicked the stirrings away.
Yeah, so like that was not a below average draw from Tron. I disrupted you.
Yeah, you disrupted 1 card, but then I never found like another map, a Sylvan Scrying, and other stirrings. I never found like one of those.
I disrupted 2 cards. I countered a map. I countered a map with a Spellstar Sprite.
Oh yeah.
It was not below average draw.
I think you countered a sphere, right?
Let's go back to the tape.
Was it a map or was it a sphere? I don't know. You countered a 1 mana.
I don't know. You're probably right.
But I think most people tend to underestimate just how consistent and resilient Tron is at assembling Tron. That's my point.
I know exactly how resilient and consistent it is, and that's why I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Look,
the deck is very good at what it does.
I don't want to get on a rant about Tron because that's not fair. Because Tron's just doing its Tron thing. It didn't ask to be built, you know.
But I think what you saw there in Game 3 was the power of Alpine Moon being significantly cheaper than Blood Moon. It does essentially the same thing against Tron that Blood Moon does. It's not as applicable in other matchups, but doing that at 1 mana, so you're able to leave up Counterspell when you do it, or leave up Obstructionist for their Oblivion Stone, is super powerful.
I agree to an extent, because we also saw in Game 2 where I played an Alpine Moon, and you went Nature's Claim into play Giant Thing. Yes. So if that was Blood Moon,
everything.
Well, if it was Blood Moon, you could not have done that. You only had 3 mana. And then you couldn't even pop like your Oblivion Stone, for example. So like, it goes both ways. I think there are pros and cons to Alpine Moon. I think being a 1 mana disruptive element is pretty sweet. Personally, I'm still a huge fan of playing stuff like Spreading Seas in these kinds of decks, just because drawing a card seems so relevant. you're very resource light, so having Spreading Seas cantrip is a pretty big deal, but causing one's also a big deal. So I definitely understand why it's there. Don't get me wrong. I think giving you access to green mana is kind of gross. Just, half the time you're like searching for green mana, and if I'm like Spreading Seas in your stuff, you have to draw green mana to unlock it. And
I was allowed on green mana all 3 games, so that it was definitely relevant the game I'd claim, but it was excellent there in game 3.
That's true.
And how game 3 played out is exactly how you want the games to go. You're able to disrupt my early turn so I don't Tron on turn 3. Then you find a moon, you land it with counter spells up, and then every turn I spend sitting there twiddling my thumbs, cantripping through my deck, you land a threat. Every turn I land a threat, you counter it, and then you finish me off with 2 bolts the turn before I was really about to turn the corner.
Yeah,
So
once you
still
play
have 1 remand too.
Once you cast the Thragtusk, or once Thragtusk resolves, the game's over. I'm pretty sure, or it's very close to being over, because that gives you the 1-turn window of being able to untap and then play your giant thing. Like you usually cast Thragtusk on the turn where you find Tron. Or you have Tron and you like find green and you do a double spell, like you play Ballista and Thragtusk on the same turn, or whatever. I was able to bottleneck you on green mana by like remanning the first Ancient Stirring so that you didn't have it, and then taking it. So like it was a little harder to find Tron and green, and then that final turn, like I had everything at the end. So
yeah. So the matchup definitely seemed bad. Ballista is a problematic card for sure. And I think that's a card that Tron deck should be playing more of.
Oh, for sure. I think the 2 cards that I would play more of in Tron are Sanctum of Ugin and Walking Ballista. Like, you don't have trouble finding a ton of colorless mana. And Walking Ballista just seems like one of the best things you can do with that. And if you pair that with just more copies of Sanctum, you're always going to be able to find like your big stuff after that. And can you get another Ballista with it, with Sanctum? Is it just any colorless creature?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
any colorless creature, right?
I don't know. We'll look at it.
Yeah, because Ivugin only got the big guys. And then, right?
No, Ivugin got colorless creatures
Oh,
too.
maybe I'm doing it the other way around. I think Sanctum might only get big things. I don't think you can Sanctum into... I don't think you can Sanctum into another Walking Ballista.
Pretty sure I have 2 different Walking Ballista with Sanctum.
Maybe you're cheating. Whenever you cast a colorless spell with Vermac out 7 or greater, you may sacrifice it. If you do, search your library for colors. Yeah, just any colorless creature. Okay. Yeah. So you can chain off ballistas, and that's also great.
Yeah.
Or get a Wormcoil.
And
or
then,
if you have a million mana, get Nullabach.
If you have a bunch of big spells in your hand, Ballista just on turn 2 is a removal spell for a Noble Hierarch.
Champion of the Parish on the play.
Yeah, Champion of the Parish. That's good. You look at that, and you look at that as being a weak play for Walking Ballista, but it's not a play you have to make every time it's in your hand. It's a play you're going to make when you already have big things in your hand, and you don't need it late, and it'll help you get there. So it being a split card, anytime I'm playing a ramp deck, I love having cards in my deck that do something late and do something early, and Ballista is that card. I think it's great. It's great, obviously just absurd in this matchup, even though I never really landed like a huge one.
No, you didn't get him when I conceded.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's generally what happens. This matchup seemed worse. We were able to see how the games play out when you win, which was nice. You are now, up 4-2 overall in games?
Yeah, but I'm 1-1 in matches, and that matters more.
Yeah. And we got a little humans. That's a big test tomorrow.
Tomorrow is going to be sweet because it'll really be the test. I get access to Grim Lavamancer now, which was big. All 10 of my main deck spot removal spells are going to be good. My counter spells are going to be awful.
Yeah, we're finally switching over. We've had 2 matchups in a row where the counter spells are good, the removal is not as good. Now we're flipping the script. The removal is going to be great, and we'll see how this goes. I think having a good humans matchup is one of the reasons Jeff did well. I don't know how many times you ran into it, but Bolt Snap Bolt is usually good against humans, and this deck, rather than having some weak control elements, can actually turn the corner. And the Grim Lavamancer is one of the best cards in the format against humans. So
yeah, for sure.
That is a card I'm going to be wary of.
All right. Well, that's going to be all for me and Mr. Merriam today. But make sure to tune back in tomorrow where you continue our Blue-Red Wizard running through the Gauntlet series on the Versus series. Something like that. That just sounded stupid. Anyway, for Ross Merriam, I'm Todd Anderson. We'll see you tomorrow.